All right, so in this video, I wanted to take a look back at some potential designs that I found on the internet for some different stadium renovations. Now, the first one, it is the Levi Stadium canopy. This was a design back in 2017, right after the stadium opened. You had 49ers fans immediately complaining about the amount of heat that was being let into the stadium, the zero shade early in the season, and this was kind of the remedy to that. In 2018, this project ended up going abandoned because regulations didn't allow for a roof to happen, but you can just take a look at it. I think it looks really cheap. It's just like a canopy thing that comes over. It is still open air, and you could easily keep, this open air, because with where Levi Stadium is located in California, they get very fair, nice weather, especially for the football season in the fall and the winter months there. And you can see it would just work as like a little shade to most of the fans and limit the sunlight that comes into it. And then they would also have to build stuff around it. You're probably looking at, back in 2017, maybe a $250, $300 million renovation. You got to remember that because this is open air, it wouldn't cost nearly as much as completely, putting a retractable roof on top of a stadium. I always see these things get rumored like so-and-so is going to add a roof, and then it just never happens. Like, stadiums never add retractable roofs, it feels like, but there are just a few models on how it would work, and it does look like a fixed canopy that would not open, but there's a lot of natural light that would be let into it. And San Francisco 49ers fans, surprisingly, when I looked it up, they were complaining pretty heavily about the stadium not having any shade. But again, there's regulation problems. They can't actually build a roof on Levi Stadium, and it's just going to have to remain as it is. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. This is another potential roof to Lincoln Financial Field. It was part of a renovation that was pitched back in 2012. The cost of it, only $100 million back then, a lot cheaper. You can take a look, natural light being let into it. I think it looks a little bit better than the last one, I will say that. But to me, Lincoln Financial Field, they should feel pretty good that they didn't put a roof on it or anything like that. That looks like a very strange concoction. I'm not even sure how that works exactly. But yeah, that was an idea that they had. Man, that's like a weird science experiment right there. But that ended up not happening. And then we do have the TIAA Bank Field potential renovation. This is the one they did not go with. And I will say the one in real life does look a little bit better in my opinion than this one, because it does have a chrome design on the exterior. But the interior of this, I think the interior looks better. It would probably cost a little bit more money because it looks like they've completely redesigned it. But let's be real, the real actual renovation on TIAA Bank Stadium is like $1.5 billion. So would this really cost all that much more? The other main difference with this one is it's like a soccer stadium where it's just a canopy open air, as opposed to the actual renovation being completely closed over the top with a see-through roof. But I love that pool design. The only problem is I don't think they would have enough fans at the regular season games to really fill up those pools. And they might be vacant a lot of the time because those are large pools. That's 3 different pools, and the one on the bottom is but that's just such a cool design how it slopes down and you can see it. But they're not going with that, unfortunately. And then they do have some nice seating on each sides behind the scoreboard, and then there is an exterior view of it. You could very easily, add a little, translucent roof in the inner center if they wanted to do that. And then this is the former Paul Brown Stadium potential renovation. Looks like they're installing some type of club exclusive seating to the upper area in the second deck. So yeah, this is a stadium that definitely needs some type of renovation. I'm sure if they do get a renovation, it'll be like $300 million. It's not going to be a rebuild like a lot of these other NFL teams are potentially looking at exploring. If I was doing a renovation to the Bengals stadium, I would really be interested in doing some type of jungle theme, jungle area, because you really want to make the stadium unique. And that's a unique thing with Cincinnati, the Bengals, the jungle theme, the green. Why not make an exclusive club area with some like forest green type stuff? Make it like a Bengal theme or something. I think it'd be cool, like the jungle. That would be something that they should do. This doesn't look too extensive. It looks like they're just adding a few little scoreboards and things like that. We'll have to see if they end up doing something. I remember seeing another renovation to this stadium from a few years ago, and they were like putting trees behind the scoreboard. It looked really ugly, but maybe they will do something like that. I'm sure at some point that's going to be like the next NFL stadium after the Browns, the Panthers, all these other stadiums get announced. That's going to be the next one up that we start hearing about renovations, in my opinion. This was a pitch to keep the Oakland Raiders home, and this is really the only stadium that I've seen. Unfortunately, there's really not good renderings of it. It's just the exterior, but this is the only stadium I've seen like with the Raiders staying in Oakland. The only one. Because it just seemed like they were going to leave, and there was really zero concepts for them staying. There was like a multi-team concept with them and I think the Chargers, but that would also have them leaving to LA. They'd be the LA Raiders if that happened. This concept, just looking at it, the exterior really reminds me of the new Hard Rock Stadium. Really not a fan of it for the modern times. It does have, looks like some type of roof, but the roof almost looks like there's cables attached to it, which to me makes it look a little bit cheap. It is kind of it does have airflow as well, which I know is something that is getting really popular. Again, unfortunately, there's no views of the interior of that either. And then how about this? This was a South Dakota super stadium planned in the middle of nowhere. Imagine if the Black Hills Event Center, imagine if that got built. Yeah, that was a $3 billion Olympic-sized stadium they were trying to build. They were trying to lure an NFL team back about 10 years ago. It didn't end up happening, but that would be sweet if that actually got built. And then how about this globe? This would be my pitch to an NBA team. An NBA team really should try and do something like this where one side is just all the stands. I think the capacity of this globe, this is supposed to be for New York City, like right on the water. It's called a Globe Theater. The capacity is 12K. Realistically, for NBA teams, you really only need a capacity of like 17,000, but that's pushing it. Normally, you need at least 18K, but you would just have to add one more, row of seats or one more section of seating, above like another upper deck, and then just have the NBA court down there. I think the players would probably hate it. That would be sweet if they did that. And you could have a translucent, see-through entire globe circle and call it the Sphere. They're actually doing a Sphere mega project that's a theater that's very similar to this in Las Vegas, and it's under construction right now, and it looks amazing. But really, the NBA should explore an option of doing this. Put it right on the water, and the one side is just see-through, and you can see all the water and stuff. I'm not sure how that would project on TV. Probably not good, but it would be pretty amazing or you could just do a giant circle and then have, seating on each side going all the way around, but then the exterior is completely see-through glass. I really think that's the next big thing with stadiums. It's like see-through glass on the exterior that changes colors. That's got to be the next one. I don't know if any stadiums are, I guess SoFi did something like that a little bit, but I'm talking about all the way around. The entire exterior of it is translucent, and the glass on the outside can change colors. Little Caesars Arena has something really cool on their roof where it changes colors. It just looks so nice. I don't know why, but they really need to start implementing that into stadiums. But I just wanted to go through a few different ones that really, Lincoln Financial Field certainly is not getting a roof. Levi Stadium is certainly not getting a roof. I do think Cincinnati is going to renovate their stadium at some point. And then that TIAA Bank renovation. I mean, that's a good pitch. I'm not going to lie. I don't know which one is better. I would probably say the current one that they went with is a little bit better. But this one has better like pool areas. And it just looks a little more luxurious than the other one. The other one definitely has a better exterior, the chrome design. I mean, you can't beat the chrome design. It really feels like teams are investing in how their exteriors look. Like every NFL stadium that's going up has a nice exterior. Look at the Titans and the Bills. Both of them have prominent, good-looking exteriors because teams know that they have to invest into it. Again, if I was designing a stadium, I would really explore a completely color-changing, translucent exterior. That's probably the next new mega stadium or super stadium in the NFL. But guys, I just wanted to go through some interesting renderings. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.